Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am here for our monthly Q&A for the month of March 2019. I posted a call for questions both on Instagram and YouTube, and I think I got everyone. If I missed your question this time around, definitely let me know in the comment section down below, and I will get it in our June Q&A video. So let's go ahead and get started. I've got my list of questions here. One question that I am frequently asked is what myself and my husband do for a living, what we do for our careers. I work for an online university as a mentor for students, and my husband works in the merchandise department for Costco. So that is what we do for a living. Nothing super crazy or adventurous or anything like that, but I'm very grateful I work from home full time, which allows me to spend a lot more time with my family. I've worked in higher education now for a little over a decade, so I've done pretty much everything. I've taught classes online for another university. I've managed and trained faculty at another university. Like, I've kind of done all sorts of roles, but this has by far been my favorite role so far that I have served in, and I love my job. I love what I do. And yeah, I especially do love that I work from home. And I know I did get questions about how to find work from home jobs, and I'll just go ahead and answer that now since it's at the bottom of my list, but it's kind of tied into what I do for a living. So if you're looking for a work from home position, my best piece of advice really for job hunting in general is word of mouth. I personally recommend asking your family and friends and, current coworkers and anyone like that, if they know of any opportunities, or maybe one of them, or maybe they work for, a company that offers full-time work from home positions. I just think personally, having those connections and networking makes a huge difference. I knew quite a few people who had come over here to my current university from our previous one, and that was kind of how I got my foot in the door. Is I got recommendations from them, got some tips for the interviewing process and everything like that from them, and all of that. So that's my biggest piece of advice, is to just ask around people that you know and that you trust, see if they know of opportunities. I know there's a lot of probably like scams and things like that out there. I do think that there are going to be more work from home opportunities in the future. I think a lot of companies are realizing the benefits of allowing their employees to at least work from home part-time, let alone, full-time. So I feel like it's going to become more and more common. I've heard of a lot of my friends who work for different companies who are now offering, full-time work from home opportunities, part-time work from home opportunities. So just keep, asking around, and eventually the right opportunity will present itself to you. I was very patient. Well, kind of. I wasn't super patient, but my dream had always been to be home more with our children. That was a huge thing for me, is I wanted more of that balance. In my previous job, I was gone from 7 in the morning till 6 at night, Monday through Friday, and I saw my daughter for an hour a day, and I always get emotional whenever I talk about this, but it was a god-awful time in my life. I was miserable because I missed my daughter so much, and I just felt like I couldn't be the mom that I wanted to be while doing that. That's not to say that that's wrong. If you work those types of hours and you're away from your kids, and, that's what works best for you and your family, then props to you. I just personally, it didn't work for me. I do know a lot of, career moms who are fantastic mothers. They're rock stars at their jobs, and I envy them. I couldn't handle all that. So that was just me personally though. So yeah, very grateful for what I do, very grateful for my current role and everything like that. If you guys have more questions, let me know down below. Okay, and then the next question that I got was about just starting out your YouTube channel. What kind of content to put out there, what kind of equipment. I feel like I could definitely do a Q&A all about YouTube. If that's something that you guys are interested in, definitely let me know. But for just starting out YouTube, my biggest piece of advice is just to go for it. If it's something that you truly want to do and not for the money, that is key here. You can't really start a channel just with the goal of I'm going to make, a ton of money. I'm going to get 1 million subscribers and do YouTube full time. I feel like that can't really be the initial reason why you want to start your channel. I think it's got to be something that you're very passionate about and something that you want to do more so as a hobby, because the money does not come right away. And, and it takes time and it takes a lot of work, and it has to be something that you enjoy doing to continue doing it. For me, YouTube can't feel like work. If it starts to feel like work, then I'm like, I have to reevaluate. Is this something that I really want to do? Because I'm personally not doing it for the money at all. I'm doing it because I love it. And I've continued to love it, and it's never felt like a job to me so far at all. I love what I do, and I love connecting with you guys. So that's my biggest piece of advice as far as like deciding to start out your channel, is to make sure you have a really good reason why you're doing it, and not just for the money. In terms of equipment, I just started out honestly with my phone. I have an iPhone, nothing special, just iPhone 10. And I feel like I'm filming on it right now. I still don't have a fancy camera, and I probably won't get one, honestly, because I feel like the camera quality is totally fine with my iPhone. I got a little tripod, they're $10-15 on Amazon. I've since upgraded to fancier tripods and things like that. Once I, started having an income from YouTube, I did upgrade some of my equipment. But for just starting out, honestly, a phone and a tripod is really all you need. As far as editing software is concerned, I'm only really familiar with iMovie. It's what I've always used. I've always had Mac products, and I was familiar with iMovie because I actually previously had a channel that I deleted back in the day. So I knew how to edit on it and everything like that. For creating thumbnails, I personally use PicMonkey. And let's see what else. So you can edit right on your phone too, by the way. There's an iMovie app that I used in the beginning to edit my videos. And then I started editing them on my computer once I just kind of ran out of storage space on my phone. So in terms of content and the content that you want to put out there, be true to who you are. If I hated budgeting but made budgeting videos, I feel like that would totally come across in my videos and they wouldn't be genuine at all. Definitely hone in on something that you love doing and that you love talking about. I personally could talk about planning, organization, budgeting, all that stuff all day long. I drive my husband insane sometimes. But YouTube is kind of my outlet, so he's actually had some relief from that, which I'm sure he's grateful for. But that's what I recommend doing. Don't start a family vlog channel unless that's something that you really want to do. That's something that you're passionate about. A lot of family vlog channels are very successful. They have a ton of subscribers. They're doing great. So sometimes people are like, oh, well, I can start a family vlog channel and then and this ties into the whole money thing, I can, grow my audience and eventually be successful too. Try to pave your own path, or, is that the right saying? Pave your own way, create your own path in the YouTube world. And don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Be yourself. Yeah, that's my one of my largest pieces of advice as well, is just to be who you are. Sounds like such a simple thing, and it's easier said than done sometimes, I feel like. But yeah, so YouTube Q&A, I feel like I could definitely do a Q&A all about that. So if you guys are interested in that, definitely let me know in the comment section down below and what kind of questions you have about it, and I will film that in the very near future. And I just started my channel at the end of October. I think my first video went up, was it October 30th or 31st, or somewhere around the last week of October, first week of November. So I have not been around for a whole ton of time, but I did have a lot of experience previously with social media networking because of some side businesses I had. I also had experience from having my own YouTube channel. I actually had two of them. I had one called, actually I won't even put this out there, but I had one that was hacked, and whoever has access to that channel now is probably receiving a paycheck for them that off of the content that I earned. I don't know if 100% if that's true, but all I know is someone hacked my channel and I could not get back into my account to save my life. And I contacted YouTube about it and everything like that. And yeah, so that channel is gone. And then the other channel I created, I took down because of some family drama. I've learned a lot along the way, and my channel currently is not going anywhere. I've learned from mistakes in the past how to kind of protect myself more, because when you're putting yourself out there, you know, you make yourself vulnerable for sure. And there are people just that don't have great intentions and don't wish you well. So anyways, so I do have quite a bit of experience on YouTube from all of that. But okay, and then the next question was my view on debt consolidation. So I personally would never do it myself. That's just me. I don't know a whole ton about it because I've never honestly looked into it. But the way that I kind of view it is it's just shuffling money from one spot to another. It makes you feel like you've accomplished something, but you really haven't. Now, if you're getting like a really good break on interest, say like there's a student loan consolidation and you're saving interest and it's not going to, you know, harm anything, then by all means go for it. But there are a lot of debt consolidation companies out there that I would be hesitant to trust. So just make sure to do your research. But I personally would never use that service. I don't see the need for it. I've never looked into it. Again, I don't know a whole ton about it, but yeah, so sorry if I can't be of more help in that area. And then I got questions about more kids. So I have a almost 5-year-old daughter. She's 4.5 currently. She turns 5 in December. Her name's Madeline, and she is our whole world. And now we have another little baby girl on the way, and her name is going to be Julia, and she is due October 3rd. So we're going to be a family of 4 pretty soon in the very near future. By the time you guys are seeing this video, I'm about 22 weeks along in my pregnancy. If I sound out of breath, I have such a short torso, and when I'm pregnant, like, the baby just takes over. So I feel like I can't breathe like really early on in my pregnancy. But as far as more kids, it's funny. My husband and I have always said that we want 2 kids, and that's it, just 2. But ever since finding out we were pregnant with Julia and just kind of pondering like, okay, is she really going to be our final baby? Like, is she it? Are we just going to be a family of 4? Him and I are talking more and more about the possibility of having more children. We both love being parents. It's like our passions in life. If we could get, you know, paid to be stay-at-home parents, we would. It's extremely fulfilling for both of us, and it's what we love the most in the world is our children. So we've definitely talked about, you know, the possibility of having a 3rd, and we'll see once Julia's here how we adjust and what we're thinking. I don't think we'll know for sure until she's here. And some advice that I heard somewhere or read somewhere was, you know, when you're sitting down at the dinner table and you have your whole family there and you're eating, you know, supper together, does the table feel like it's complete? You know, looking around, if you see an empty chair, is there someone that's supposed to be there? You know, like that kind of thing. And I feel like that's the moment we're going to have once Julia's here, is just trying to figure out, like, you know, are we going to have another one? I don't know. So basically, long story short, we're not entirely sure, but we're definitely open to it, and we've been thinking about it quite a bit. I don't think that we'll really know for certain until Julia's like maybe a year old or something like that. Or maybe she'll be born and I'll be like, let's do this again. I don't know. So we'll find out. But okay. How Andrew and I met. Andrew, my husband. So we actually met on eHarmony, believe it or not. We met in 2011. Wow. Yeah, 2011, July 2011. He sent me a message on the day that I was actually logging in to cancel my account. I had dated a couple guys off of eHarmony before I met Andrew, and they weren't the greatest experiences. So I was like, I'm just going to cancel this and focus on like my internships and master's degree and all that kind of stuff. And then he messaged me, and like we just clicked right away. We started talking. He actually was living in Oregon at the time, and I was in Arizona. So the first like 3-4 months of our, you know, dating relationship, was all long distance. So we spent a lot of time on the phone and on Skype, like talking and getting to know each other. He flew out and surprised me for my birthday a couple months after we first started talking, and it was just kind of an instant connection. Like, you just immediately know, like, okay, I don't know. So sounds a little cheesy, but that's how we met, was through an online dating service, eHarmony. So thank you, eHarmony. And then, does he like budgeting? Does Andrew like budgeting? No. He's very financially responsible. He is very good about, pinching pennies and saving his dollars and all of that. And he definitely likes to be in the loop on what's going on with the budget. So we have regular budget meetings. But if I asked him to like come up with our budget every single month, I'm pretty sure he would not be all about that. So he doesn't love it as much as I do. I have fun playing with numbers and, going on EVERYDOLLAR and just kind of shuffling things around and creating my budget for you guys and my deluxe monthly planner and all that kind of stuff. I love the stickers. Like, he would never, I don't think he'd ever get into it that much, obviously, but he likes having financial goals, and he likes making progress, and he likes, being in the loop, like I said, but he's not as passionate about it as I am. So, and then what did our budget look like when getting rid of credit card debt? Pretty much exactly how it does now. So with the Dave Ramsey plan and the debt snowball, you list your debts from smallest to largest, and you just kind of work your way through the list. And that's essentially what we've done. So credit card debt, like everything was going to the credit card debt when we were working on paying that off. Any extra penny, extra dollar that we had was going to the credit card debt. Now all of our extra dollars are going to savings to prepare for baby girl's arrival in October. So it pretty much looked exactly the same. It hasn't changed a whole ton. My methods of budgeting have changed over the months and the years. We've gone back and forth from cash and debit and credit and all this sort of stuff. And we've really, we've learned a lot from our mistakes. We've made a lot of progress in the sense that we've kind of messed up a lot, and that has created like great learning opportunities for us. And now I feel like, and this is crazy because we've been budgeting for a while, but now, like 2.5 years later, I feel like we've got like a really good handle on everything, and like we have a good system in place that's really working well for us. So just give yourself time. Like, some people need 3 months and then boom, they've got it down. And some people, like, it takes longer to establish those really good, spending habits and things like that. So just don't compare yourself to other people is one of my pieces of advice too when it comes to budgets. So my budget and what works for us may not work for you too. So just, there's a ton of budgeting YouTubers out there. I recommend watching them just to get ideas, but don't be afraid to do your own thing, and don't feel like your way's the wrong way because someone else is doing it this way. I got kind of caught up in that comparison trap quite a bit when creating our budget. So it's another piece of advice I have. The hardest part of starting my YouTube channel, it's a good question. I feel like overthinking it too much, maybe, and trying to be like too perfect in the beginning, which I think everyone almost does. Like, you kind of second guess yourself a lot and put a lot of pressure on yourself. So if I like was filming and I made a mistake or something, or accidentally burped in my video, I would be like, oh man, I have to start all over. And I don't know, it's those types of things. Just don't get in your head too much. I think that's probably was the hardest part. And then the more and more you do it, the easier it gets, obviously. I still don't feel comfortable filming in public though. Like, I've thought about like doing the Costco, like shop with me type of stuff, and I'm just like not there yet. But it's one of those things, like, once you dive in and you get more experience with it, then I think you get more comfortable with it. But that was probably the hardest part for me. And then, how long have I used an Erin Condren planner? I've been using her planners for at least a couple years, probably since 2017, somewhere around there. I got into the Erin Condren planner, from multiple people. I was watching Happily a Housewife, Samantha on Happily a Housewife. Kimmy from She's in Her Apron, I think at one point was using it. Brittany from Pennies into Pearls. Like there were all these YouTube channels that I was watching, and I remember seeing the Erin Condren Planner. And I just kind of got into it from there and dove in, and now I'm hooked. Hooked for life, may I add. I don't see myself using any other planner. Now, I have always used planners, and that's the other part of this question was other planners that I've used. I've always used a planner. I used to just use the basic, like, at-a-glance planner from Target. That's what I've always used in the past, and that's when I was just using pen and paper, no stickers, nothing fancy. I used that when I was in college, like, to make my to-do list and kind of keep track of my schedule and due dates for assignments and things like that. So I've always used a planner in some way, and I've always been a planner in some way, but I haven't gotten like really fancy until recently with my Planner Kate stickers and Erin Condren planners and all that kind of stuff. And it's become a true hobby and passion of mine that I love. There you can see my Erin Condren cart like full of stuff in the back there. So yeah. And then my final question was my thoughts on the Game of Thrones ending. So I have some thoughts. I was definitely disappointed initially. The ending was not, well, here's the thing. So the ending itself, I think, was appropriate for each character of Game of Thrones. I feel like they ended up kind of fulfilling their destiny, I guess you could say. Like Arya went off to, and sorry if this is a spoiler alert for anyone, if you haven't seen the Game of Thrones finale and you want to watch it, like, stop this video right now. But Arya went off to, like, go do her own, like, adventure and, travel and all that kind of stuff. And then Sansa is, Queen of Winterfell. And Bran is now, the ruler of the Seven Kingdoms. But he's, like, the all-knowing, like, I feel like that actually was a befitting role for him. And I guess if you've read the books, it's very different. Like your perspective completely changes if you've read the books on Bran. So I recommend reading them. But if you've read the books, then that all makes a lot more sense. And Jon Snow is definitely naturally a leader, but he was never interested in the throne. But he was able to lead, the wildlings, the free people, and all that kind of stuff as he's like going off into the forest. So I feel like each of the Stark family members ended up doing what they were always meant to do. Even though they split up and that was kind of sad and everything, and I wanted them all to just like be together again. But I feel like the ending was good. The season itself was very, very rushed. I feel like they didn't do enough plot development and all that kind of stuff. Like the season itself was just poorly done, in my opinion. It was just rushed, and that's really what it was. My perspective changed a lot when I saw there was a special on HBO Live, and I don't remember what it was called, but it was like a 2-hour special looking into the whole filming process, everyone involved with the making of the episodes and all of that. And man, that really, I appreciate the hard work that all those people put into that show. I mean, this show was incredible. It was incredible. I mean, I don't even have words to describe it. Like, it was just amazing. The whole series was amazing. It was life-changing, and overall it was just really well done. And there's a lot of talent behind the scenes that, they put in their blood, sweat, and tears to creating these episodes. And it really made me appreciate all the hard work that everyone did to create the episodes, even though, it could have been done a bit better if maybe they ran out of, like, I don't know why the season was, like, rushed so much. Like, I don't know why there was only 6 episodes. I feel like they could have definitely tacked on a couple more episodes to make it better and just to kind of develop things more and answer more questions. But, and the other thing too that my husband and I talked about was, for the first couple seasons, like, they had the books. And when you are creating a show and you're able to read all those details in the books, I feel like that affects your ability to kind of direct and create the storyline and the scripts and all that kind of stuff for the characters. Whereas, for the later part of the series, they did not have books. They were just kind of going off of, oh Lord, George Martin. Oh my gosh, brain fart, pregnancy brain. They were just going off of his, well, this is what's going to happen. And obviously he's probably not sitting there telling them in immense detail, what the outcome's going to be and everything like that. So I feel like that probably affected it as well, was the fact that they didn't have the novels to go off of, to read through and get all of that rich detail. So those are my thoughts on Game of Thrones. In general, it's definitely a series that I will be purchasing, and watching over and over again, I'm sure, in the future, and maybe watch with my kids when they're 30. But yeah, I mean, it's a series that will go down in history, that's for sure. It was incredible. So I'm very thankful for the hard work that everyone did creating the series, and I just wish there were a couple more episodes for season 8. That would have been great. So anyways, guys, that is pretty much it for this Q&A. I hope you enjoyed it. I really love filming these Q&As just so we can kind of get to know each other a little bit more. You guys see my hands a lot, but you don't really see my face all that much in my environment. So it's really nice for me to just sit down and answer your guys' questions and all of that. So I'll definitely plan on doing another Q&A in June. I'll be putting a call for questions out on Instagram. If you're not following me there already, I have my Instagram handle in the description box down below. And then I'll post something in the community as well. So that's where you can post your questions. Also, I do look at previous Q&A videos to see if there are any unanswered questions there. So if you have questions that you want me to answer in my next video, let me know in the comment section down below. And I will definitely get to that next time around. So anyways, guys, if you haven't subscribed already, of course, hit that subscribe button for me. I'd greatly appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, and I will chat with y'all later. Bye!